why don't,
You got it.
yeah, why don't you guys jump into the conversation that we're having about, like the specific ways that we integrate the work that we do with mental health, psychological approaches, and ancient traditional Chinese approaches.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was thinking like we talk a lot about mind, body, spirit approaches. That's the idea, right? It's integrated. And I think a lot of people who have an interest in, some interest in energy or spirituality or something, they talk about this. And I just think that we have the good fortune of being able to have deep practices that, at least I believe, actually do mind, body, spirit integration. So I've, over many years now, and particularly from my training with Grandmaster Lu, have begun to integrate this as a regular part of how I work with people. So if somebody comes to me for therapy and they're very distressed, which is often the case, say something is going on in their life right now that's causing them to be really upset. And the reasons for their upset seem plainly evident. It seems legitimate. So we want to acknowledge that and maybe do some problem solving. But then, then I know the issue that I'm seeing, like, gee, how come that person's wearing a green shirt? They're upset, but they're actually wearing a green shirt. Like, well, green is the color of the liver, so already my mind is thinking, like, is there a liver part in this that's already in the body, the liver? And, is there some kind of Qigong practice that I can give them to help move the energy in the body? To help move the energy to support the practice that I can give them to help move the energy in the body. To help move the energy to support the practice that I can give them to help move the energy in the body.
Okay, sorry, I'm just having a little tech thing going on there, but we're all
My doppelganger is speaking at the same time.
we're all set. Go, continue on. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just saying, like, so for me, the treatment decision is how can I help this person become more balanced? Because their behavior and their emotions, they're clearly out of balance, and they know that too. So we have, in psychological terms, a lot of options for how to help people get calmer and be more balanced. But if you add the Chinese medicine side, I feel some confidence that it's really going to get to the deeper mind, body, spirit level and bring balance that will express itself through their energy, internal energy, and also soothe the organs, help the body function better. And then their experience is going to be, they're going to be calmer. So that's what I thought would be interesting. That's what we started to talk about. And I know, Sandra, you do stuff like this too, and I'd love to hear how you think about it.
Yeah, as I was listening to you, Larry, and you were describing like somebody wearing a certain color.
Yeah.
Right. What it brought to my mind was how people have this inner wisdom that's always working for them. And so when they show up in our office, we're always looking to notice that wisdom and trying to get them to see it, right? Trying to get them to, right? We're really saying there's something here. There's something here. And the person's just not quite in touch with it. So how do we begin to do that? So of course, we have to listen and walk with them. Like we have to walk with them where they are. And then once they start to feel a sense of calm, then we can sort of show them, well, how do you take this deeper? For me, one of the things that I've often seen is that people feel, women who are coming and they're feeling very anxious. They're in a work setting or a life setting, and they just feel anxious and overwhelmed by things. So the anxiety, their breath is shallow and they don't even notice. Like, it's like their breath is going to right here and they don't notice it.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I can teach them first is just to slow down and notice your breath. But what I love to share with them is reverse breathing or spirit gate breathing, we call it, because it is one of those practices that helps the person reach multiple levels. In the beginning, what they may notice is just simply that they feel calmer.
Yeah.
And I like to share with them that this particular practice is something they can do no matter where they're at. Like if you're in a meeting, someone says something and you feel upset, or you all of a sudden you feel like, I don't know if I know the answer to that question, you can actually calm yourself, because once you calm yourself, you can say the part that you do know, and then you can say, and we can go here, or we need to do this to find the other part. But if you can't calm yourself, you can't even access this inner wisdom. So I like to share that with people as a practice that they can do anywhere they are. Once they know it,
Yes.
anywhere you are, you can just use this practice to help you get back to your inner wisdom and find your peace. And I'll tell you the other thing I like, Larry, is if somebody's in a situation like I'm describing, and they do use this practice, I like them afterwards, right, to take a few minutes and think about what has occurred and how they feel at that moment, right? How do you just begin to get them to notice their own process and notice how they can shift their process and pay attention to it. So just some integration time. I really like that whole idea of the stomach meridian, the one that allows us to process things, and giving people that sense that they want to allow themselves to process what has happened, slow things down a little bit.
Yeah, I know when you're speaking, you often emphasize the respect for what it is people have already with them that they can maybe don't realize, but they give them a moment, they can discover their own wisdom,
Mhm.
like the choice of the color of the shirt they're wearing.
Yeah.
Recently I was speaking with someone, and because of the color of the clothes that they were wearing, I said, because we're often people are trying to decide often like what to do with Western medicine and how to integrate this Chinese stuff and what choices to make. And, I said, well, if you take Western medicine, you're going to take something from the outside, and it might be helpful. I don't deny it could be helpful. But, the Chinese view, the Eastern view is like, it's going to come from the inside. You already have it. And so look at what you're wearing. Like you're wearing the medicine. You're wearing your medicine,
Mhm.
because you chose it and that's for you. And
Mhm.
now we can think about how many ways that choice is beneficial.
Mhm.
Even something that looks relatively like unimportant, like you picked a shirt to wear out of the closet.
Mhm.
Like who gives that any thought usually?
Yeah,
It turns out to be so profound. An
absolutely.
example of like self-healing, self-directed, some kind of intuitive wisdom a person's has used. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I think the simplicity of it and this, it sounds simple, but it's so deep, right? Like
Deep.
some of the things I've learned studying Chinese medicine are like, we learn what we would call as a simple march, or a simple, massaging of an energy gate in our body. But the result over time is just becomes so much more than you could have ever imagined. Like I don't often have words for how many shifts I notice in my emotional processing, in my ability to catch myself in a negative belief, or a belief that can hold me in a stuck place. So I feel grateful for this ability for like, okay, I'm working on all these levels simultaneously. And as I do that, I can see myself start to transform. And sometimes the changes are small, but if I get myself to notice them, then they actually add up to a lot more than one small thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's so great. Very true. That's the mind, body, spirit
Yeah.
dimension in practice. That's really what, we were wanting to highlight today is like, if you put this into practice, there is a mind, body, spirit connection. I mean, we're dividing it in mind, body, spirit. It's not divided, but, we can think of it as in a certain way like that. And then when
Yeah.
we work with that awareness, the person we're working with is going to make discoveries
Yeah.
that are, like you said, often, profound beyond the immediate need to say, like, I'm really upset, I need to be calmer. That happens too. And then there's all these other layers you're talking about. It's really profound and what I find so gratifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
agree.
just want to add that as we close because our time is up, that what I'm hearing you guys say is that often integrating these two approaches allows you to guide people to wake things up from the inside out that they don't even know yet are
Yes.
in there. And so if you give them herbs to support their organ function, or you give them practices and techniques to awaken breathing and interconnection, you're actually helping them discover more about the problem solving ability that they have already in them and already at use, already at work for them, which is so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the problem they have right now is really the opportunity. It becomes the opportunity for this kind of discovery. So it's not a burden in a way. It becomes a gift to discover something. That is also a really profound difference, because the traditional way of understanding problems is that you have to stop them because something worse is coming.
Yeah.
Prevent now because there's a likelihood that something bad is going to happen in the future. And we turn that around and say, like, no, let's do something now, because this is your opportunity to discover, you know, undiscovered gifts that will change your life in the future for the good. That's a really big difference.
It is.
Yeah.
That we don't have to make it a bad thing that's happening to them.
That's right.
Beautiful. All right, guys. Wow. Great. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and go discover something new about yourself.
Will do.
I'm on it.
You have to. You just have to.
All right.
All right, guys.
Soon. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.